Brilliance Audio.
All That We Are by Mariah Stewart. Performed by Linda Jones. Emma Dean sat in her late husband's chair at the desk in his home office and tapped her pen on the side of the mug holding her now cold coffee. Outside, a late nor'easter was bearing down on Wyndham Beach on the lower coast of Massachusetts, the wind whipping the bare trees in the backyard. Sleet pinging the windows sounded like buckshot against the glass, but Emma ignored it all until the lights flickered overhead. She glanced up, annoyed at the possibility of losing power. A loud crack from the backyard was followed by a thud that shook the house. She swung her chair around to look out the window just as the branch of a large tree fell, and the lights flickered once, twice, 3 times before the room and the hallway beyond were plunged into darkness. Oh, for crying out loud! Hands on her hips, she stood behind the desk in the dark, all 5 feet 2 inches of her, and silently counted to 30. That was how long it was supposed to take for the backup generator to kick on once it sensed the electricity had shut off. She'd barely gotten to that magic number when she heard the roar of the gas-fueled equipment just seconds before the lights were turned. Thank you, Lord. The last thing she wanted was to spend a cold, dark night alone in this 200-year-old house, where the floorboards squeaked and the radiators knocked and the wind against the windows could sound like a child's cry. She tucked an errant strand of short dark hair behind her ear and turned her attention back to the file that lay open on the desk, the one she'd found in the file drawer in the credenza directly behind the desk, the one where Harry had kept what he called his tax deductions. In the 10 years since her husband passed, Emma had never gone through his files, had never even thought much about them. But since she'd established the Wyndham Beach Art Center several years ago, the records she needed to keep had begun piling up. She found her tiny office at the center too small to hold more than one file cabinet, and that had already overflowed to a wire basket sitting atop the cabinet, items in alphabetical order, a most unsatisfactory arrangement. Harry had kept a well-equipped office in their home, and God knew he wasn't going to be using it again, so Emma figured, why not move his old stuff out and her new stuff in? She'd been meaning to clear out some space for weeks, but hadn't had the opportunity. A stormy night in March seemed like a good time. She rolled up her sleeves and began to purge the file drawers. She was pretty sure that tax documents had to be saved for only 7 years, so those old files were well past their expiration date. She'd worked her way through 3 drawers, scanning the contents of each file to ensure they held nothing of import before tossing them into a box next to the desk. Once the box was filled, she'd shred the contents and resume purging. That was the plan. But then she reached the 4th drawer, the one marked Receipts in Harry's awkward uppercase print. There were files for almost every purchase he'd ever made. Cars, appliances, furniture, clothing. Reading through them was like watching a quick movie reel of their life together. There was the receipt for the car Harry'd bought Emma the year their son and only child Christopher was born. A silver baby's cup Harry'd ordered to mark the birth of his sister Prudence's first child. A new chimney liner. The first guitar they'd bought Chris. Her eyes lingered over this one as she recalled how Harry had later rued the day he'd opened that can of worms. Emma dropped that receipt on the desk. Chris might get a kick out of it. There was a file containing personal purchases Harry had made for himself. A 3-piece charcoal suit and a lightweight summer sports coat. 3 white dress shirts and the bill for monogramming the cuffs. A receipt from a jeweler in Boston for an 8-inch gold bracelet. And a... Wait, what? She held up the receipt and scrutinized the fine print. 1 8-inch fancy link bracelet, 14-karat gold. The price was staggering. Confused, she reread the receipt several times. Was she losing her mind? Had he bought her such a thing and she'd forgotten? Sure, we all lose a little as we age, and forgetting some things now and then is normal.